Hi there, I am Mike, and what I have for you today is my Star Wars Black Series top 10 figure list of 2020. Every year I agonize over what were my personal favorite top 10 figures of the year. I don't know if these were the best figures, I just know they're the figures that I liked the best. It's an important distinction. Before I get started, I just want to kind of get a couple ground rules out of the way. First of all, they had to have come out this year, obviously, and I had to have purchased them. Obviously, because I can't really give my opinion on a figure that I don't own. That being said, there are a couple of figures that did come out technically kind of in 2020, but are officially 2021 releases, and I'm not counting those. Basically, Jar Jar Binks and the 3 Mandalorian figures and the Dark Ray. Yes, they were found at Targets in 2020, but officially they are 2021 releases. They weren't available everywhere to everyone at that time, so they do not count. Also, I didn't get them. But even if I had, I wouldn't count them. That's just how it works. Those are my rules, for whatever that's worth. So let's get into the list. Now, first I have a top 10 worst list, just to kind of get out of the way. Not all of these are figures, but I feel like all of us can sort of come to some sort of agreement on this list. For instance, number 10, the Holiday Troop. No, I'm kidding. I actually really love these. They're not my favorite. They're not going to be on my top 10 list even a little bit. But they're also not the worst things to happen to the Star Wars Black Series this year. I just wanted to kind of throw those on there because I wanted to mention them. So number 10, we have the Credit Collection. I do want to put those on here. These were actually figures that I almost didn't buy. I was almost bullied into buying them in the sense that I bought the Death Trooper just because I wanted another Death Trooper. But then I thought, well, I've got that, I might as well get the Mando. It's also Amazon exclusive. And then I had 2 of them, so I might as well get a third. And then, by the end of it, I had all 5. And I don't like it, and I haven't opened them. I've never not opened a Star Wars figure before. I've even opened my San Diego Comic-Con Kenner Boba Fett. Thanks, Brian. So I own them, but I'm not happy about it. Number 9, the Carbonized Collection. There were only 3 this year as opposed to the 4, I think, last year. I'm just not that big of a fan. The recolors don't really work anywhere in my collection. They're more expensive. At least these weren't harder to find. They were fan channel exclusive instead of store exclusive like the last ones were. So there's that. But I'm still not a fan of the Carbonized Collection, and I'm really hoping that 2020 is the last we've seen of it. Number 8, the $5 price hikes for every exclusive. If it's exclusive, it got a $5 price hike this year, and that's terrible. Number 7, basically just paying $25 for droids, especially DJ Rex and R5P8. Paying $20 for these things was bad enough, but making them exclusive and giving them a $5 price hike, that's egregious. Number 6, exclusives. I've said this in every review I've made. I've said this pretty much every year. Exclusives are the worst. They make it harder to find. They make it harder to collect. They're more likely to be scalped. And it makes the hobby less fun overall. Number 5, especially Target exclusives. Oh my goodness. Some of them peg warm, like the Credit Collection Cara Dune. Some of them I've never seen personally. And the only reason I have them in my collection is because I have fantastic viewers, fans, and friends. Number 4, especially Walmart exclusives. Walmart, you can go yourself. Number 3, that one wave of figures that was mostly just reused figures with different heads. Every figure in that wave left some sort of bitter taste in my mouth. And yes, I know I shouldn't lick my figures, but I did. And they tasted awful. Number 2, especially Padawan Anakin. You, Padawan Anakin. And number 1, the worst figure of the year for me is the Gaming Greats Electrostaff Purge Stormtrooper. It's awful. Its staff is awful. The electric effects are awful. It's just everything a toy shouldn't be, which is not fun. It wasn't fun to mess around with. I don't like it. So that's my worst figures of the year. Thanks for watching. Oh no, actually, I've got to do a thing. Okay, before I get into my top 10, I do want to show you my honorable mentions here. These figures are good. I like them. They almost made the cut. I'm not giving them any sort of place because this is a top 10 list, not a top 15, but don't expect these to be in the top 10. Some of them might be upsetting to you. You might really like them, and that's fine. This is my list. It's my taste. I like these figures. They're in my honorable mentions. They're just not good enough for number 10. Speaking of which, we have number 10, Count Dooku. One of the first figures I reviewed this year. He's not perfect. I wish his chain were silver instead of that weird gray. And initially, I poo-pooed the little saber effect and the new knees, but eventually I grew to really like them. Having a great Christopher Lee figure in the collection is fantastic. It's a great likeness. Everything about this I absolutely love. But I love 9 other figures more, I guess. Number 9 on the list comes at the new Stormtrooper Mold. Now, there's a couple figures this year that use that mold, and it's really tough for me to sort of determine which one I like the best. So I have all 3 here for now because they are all essentially the same figure. Now, if pressed, because this is a top 10 figure list, and you want me to just choose one of them, and having 3 there is cheating, I understand that. Lily, get off my back about it. If pressed, I'm gonna give it to the Incinerator Trooper. I really do like the plain Jane Stormtrooper, and the Remnant variant are both great, but that Remnant Stormtrooper was on my wish list. Number 2, he's got a flamethrower. He looks great. I do wish that his tank were, you know, the right side up, but I do like the new mold. I know there are people out there that don't. I do. I think it's a fantastic mold. It has sat on my desk for a while. I like playing with it. I just like it, okay? Number 8, we have Clone Commander Bly. Clone Commander Bly came out the same time as Count Dooku, a very early figure. In fact, it feels like he came out so long ago. I forgot that he came out in 2020 for a while. I still have the variant without the extra brown stripe on his face, and I'm okay with that. But I love Clone Commanders. But I did a full review on it, so if you want all my thoughts on it, go watch the review. But I really do like Clone Commander Bly. He's a really good figure. Number 7 is a more recent figure to come out. It is Endor Princess Leia. She is part of a triplet set that came out with Han and Luke. I do not like Han and Luke as much as I want to. Every time I actually handle them, I don't like it. But Leia, I love her. Her likeness is great. I love the poncho look. I love the helmet. I love that the helmet's removable. I haven't actually done my review on her yet. I probably will at some point, but I love that they put her out this year, and I love that she's in my collection. And then number 6, we have the new Clone Trooper Mold. Again, just like the Stormtrooper, 3 of these came out this year. We have the Kamino version, the Phase 1 version, and the 332nd Ahsoka's Trooper version. I love them all. And this one was harder for me to choose between than the Stormtrooper mold. I think that this mold was a little bit better. If pressed, I would probably say the Phase 1 Trooper is my favorite of the 3, and that actually makes the actual number 6 spot. I really like this figure, and I really can't wait for Hasbro to make more of this exact same figure, but with different paint on its armor for me to buy them. He's basically a blank slate, and I'm here for it. That brings us to the top 5 figures of 2020 for me, mikekaess. At number 5, we have Luke Skywalker Snowspeeder version. This came out in the summer as part of the 40th anniversary line, and then was re-released in the actual wave of figures. I bought both. Sure, I had to get one for the Snowspeeder, and it's sitting in the Snowspeeder in my living room. But I liked it so much, I had to buy another one for my shelf. Also, I really like the whole side mural thing. I didn't want there to be a hole in the mural. Either way, I really like this figure. Yes, I wish the head didn't have that weird cap. Honestly, I keep the helmet on all the time anyway, so it's not a big deal for me. Number 4, we have Darth Vader. This is the Empire Strikes Back version of Darth Vader. It was actually released 3 times this year alone. Right now, he is my absolute definitive Darth Vader. Before this, the A New Hope version held my top spot for Darth Vader and one of my top 10 figures of the entire line. This one has usurped it. I just like this look better. I like the helmet shape a little better. I like that the eyes don't have that reddish tinge. I like that the robe is under the shoulders instead of on top, and he has improved articulation. This is a fantastic figure, a great Darth Vader, and deserves to be in the top 4 spots, I guess. Number 3, we have the Hoth Rebel Trooper. This thing is amazing, and I really want them to do more troopers like this. I have done a full review on this if you want to go watch it. He's got a swappable face, storage for the extra face in his backpack, and then about 20 different ways you can actually display him. I own 3 in my collection. And just to put that in perspective, I don't really army build that heavy. I know a lot of people have tons of Stormtroopers and stuff. I don't really do that. That's how much I love him. But not to be outdone with him, number 2, we have the 2-pack. And I am putting both of these on here because they came in the same box. You can't, well, you could buy one without the other, but I'm not counting that. This is Luke Skywalker, Dagobah, and Yoda. This is the D4 Deluxe release. First of all, that Luke Skywalker is an absolute work of art. His face sculpt is amazing. He's got a lot of great sculpting and proportions. I just absolutely love looking at this guy on my shelf. And on top of that, he comes with the backpack, and he comes with the brand new Yoda, and the Yoda is fantastic. Again, I've reviewed this. If you want to see more thoughts on it, you can go check out that review for it. This isn't just one of the best figures of the year. This is one of the best figures in my entire collection. So that leaves number 1. The number 1 spot of 2020 is my number 1 spot for my 2020 wish list, and that is Cad Bane. Cad Bane is one of my absolute favorite bounty hunters. Hasbro has really done a fantastic job getting this guy in plastic form in a 6-inch scale. The specific version here is going to be the Hasbro Pulse exclusive version that came with Todo 360 because I need a little Seth Green bot to go with my Cad Bane. He did get released solo without the bot in the regular line, so if you're having trouble getting that Hasbro Pulse version, I recommend getting either version, but Cad Bane is awesome. He's just so freaking cool. So that's it. That's my top 10 figures and top 10 least favorite things about the Black Series in 2020. 2020 was a shit year, but we got through it. If you're watching this, you obviously got through it. The people that didn't get through it, unfortunately, can't watch it. And that's sad. But the rest of us, we can watch this, we can talk about how shitty the year is, and we can hope for a better 2021. 2021's already looking really good for the Black Series line. We've got a decent wave, or at least so I think. I haven't actually got any of the Mandalorian figures coming out. We've got a whole Bad Batch thing coming out with Asajj Ventress and Bo-Katan, and then we got Jar Jar Binks and Boba Fett. There's a lot of great figures coming out in 2021 already, and it's the third day of the year. I really hope it only gets better from here. Hasbro, I'm rooting for you. I'm counting on you. I hope 2021 is a really good year for you and me. But thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe, hit the bell if you want to see more notifications from me. I'd also like to take a moment to thank these people here for supporting me on Patreon at a Black Series level or higher. Thank you so much. If you want to see your name on this list, go check out my Patreon down in the downstairs area. I also do have a YouTube membership if you want to hang out here. I don't really shout out to this too often, but you do get unique emojis, and when you comment, it's got a little fun symbol next to it so people know that you're extra special cool and hold a very extra special place in my heart. But with that, thanks for watching, thanks for getting this far, and I'll see you later. Bye.